is something that, my son always talked to my wife, Evelyn, a lot. She was really close with him. He was her only son. She had a stepson, my oldest son. But Carlos was her baby. And he used to always ask her, if I die, you think a lot of people come to my funeral?
Really?
Our church was packed.
Yeah.
And it was so gratifying to see people show their respect. Then I feel guilty sometimes if I miss some people's funerals.
Right.
And then I just realize, you just can't make them all.
Right.
You just can't. But it's always nice to try to show some respect to people, and sometimes you can't even do that. It's a tough subject.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to try to deal with.
It is. People don't know what to say. But really, what is there to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
Mm-hmm.
It used to bug me when people would say, call me if you need anything. I'm not going to call you. I don't feel like going to the phone, but you could call me.
Yeah. I did it. My brother Richard, all my family was very good. But it really seemed like my brother Richard went above and beyond, him and his wife, Barb. I think me and Richard we were always close. I think we got even closer during that time period because, if I didn't call him, he called me just to see how I was doing. If I was having a bad day or if Evelyn was having a bad day, he was just letting us know, hey, I'm here for you if you need anything. And, that meant a lot. And to be able to go over his house and go to baseball games, he tried to do everything to get me out of the house.
Yeah. We
went in and saw a White Sox game, and I don't even think he's a White Sox fan, but he knew I was. Stuff like that, that just helps you.
It does. And that's one of the things I suggest to people. Call.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might not feel like talking today.
Yeah.
You might not answer the phone today. You might not answer the phone for a couple weeks. But don't give up on us.
Right.
It's like sooner or later, you're going to be ready to talk. Now, in your life, were there some people that you didn't hear from at all?
Well, I know a lot of people, even doing this show. I mean, even the mayor sent the most wonderful bouquet for my son. Mayor Morrissey did that.
Well, and what's interesting is now it's like we're in a group that we would prefer not to be in, but the mayor's in that same group.
Yeah, I know. He lost.
He's got a child that died.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bizarre. I mean, I don't look to see who called and who did, and I just go on because what I see out of it, I don't know if I'm ever going to find that peace that people talk about, but it would help not to cry so much sometimes when that pain comes.
Yeah.
Just a little message. You see a picture of them, hear a name. Carlos. You hear that. It's that kind of stuff just kind of overtakes me sometimes.
Yeah. So this is what I've come up with. What I've decided is that I get to believe whatever I want to believe. I'm a 53-year-old. Mm-hmm. I'm an adult. I'm going to decide what I believe.
Right.
And I'm going to choose to believe things that bring me peace. Period.
Right.
And if the belief doesn't bring me peace, I'm going to replace it with something else. Exactly. And this is what I've come to think about as far as crying. I mean, crying, it's exhausting. Sometimes we're at a place where you just can't cry.
Yeah.
But crying is healing. It's absolutely healing. And what if you looked at it this way? I do think that there's some truth to this. I'm playing with you a little bit, but your son died, so let's say you need to cry 2,372 gallons of tears. and then you're going to be done crying. As intently. Not that you're not going to, tear up the rest of your life, because my hunch is you will at certain moments.
Right.
But if there's a certain amount of tears you need to purge from your body, you get to decide. You could do that over an 18-month period, or you could drag it out over 30 years.
Yeah.
So as uncomfortable and painful as it is, my recommendation is cry as much as you possibly can.
That's a good point. I know so many wonderful people. Work for FedEx, you get to know so many people. Being on this show, I know so many people because I had guests over 20 years. There's a co-worker named Sherry. I won't say her last name. She might not want me to. But Sherry emailed me something about tears. And I had never heard this before, but now I don't even know if it's really true, but it made so much sense. She said they did a study on tears of grief and tears of like anger or something like that. And the tears of anger, they didn't have toxins in them. So it's like the toxins stayed in your body.
Yes.
But the tears of grief, when they were tested, they could see the toxins that came out of your body,
yes,
and they would be in the tears.
Yes.
So it's like if you kept meanness or something inside of you and you cried those type of angry tears, you kept those toxins in your body.
Right.
And if you cried with grief, the toxins would leave in your body.
Yeah.
And ever since she told me that, like I said, if it's true, man, I'm not a scientist, I don't know. But boy, it sounded good to me. And I told my wife about it, and, we started crying grief tears.
Get rid of all those toxins.
And the toxins seemed like, it felt like they started leaving our body. I started exercising a little bit more than I did before. And
yeah.
It kind of helped me.
Well, think about this. I've also come to believe you will always have a relationship with your son, Carlos. Always. Mm-hmm. And you get to decide if it's a healthy relationship or if it's an unhealthy relationship. And I think what a lot of people do, particularly men, it's like we put the dead person in a box. We wrap it up, we put it in a bottom drawer, and once or twice a year we take a peek. Mm-hmm. Not very healthy.
Right.
And we both encountered people, I think everyone has, people that they've experienced a death, their life is over. Their body's tight. Yeah. Their face is tight. The sound of their voice is tight. Everything, all of that pain, all of that grief, all of that sorrow, it's still inside of them.
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, I think that's when Sherry told me about those tears. I think it's something to it, whether it's factual, scientific or not. I think it's something to it. But you were on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
I was
a while back.
And my hope is I'll be back on there before.
Tell my viewers about that experience because that had to have been nice.
Oh, I love Oprah Winfrey, and so anyone that loves Oprah, the experience that you hope you would have. When the limo pulls up at your door and takes you to her studio, on the west side. Yeah. It was that times 100.
Really?
Every single person on her staff is a reflection of her. Loving, kind, professional, friendly. It is 5-star, first class, all the way. And the experience I had with her, looks you in the eye, she cares about you, she is the real deal. That's my experience, the real deal. And I was on in 1999 with an author by the name of Gary Zukav, and he and I became friends. And I think he was on her show, this was in 99, 2000, 2001, maybe 20 times. Mm-hmm. I was living in Oak Park at the time. So whenever he was on the show, I would get a call. Do you want to come down to Harpo and be a guest in the audience?
Right.
So, although I was on camera once, I was in that environment 15 times.
Really?
And it was always the same.
That's great.
5-star. But what you hope it is, it is. Absolutely.
Well, I hope it happens to me one day. I'm working on some projects, and to get good, maybe she'll have me on. But you're working on a book.
I am.
Tell my viewers when it's going to come out, the name of it, and, because this show is going to air around the holiday season.
Okay.
And
I got a great story.